You might. I don't know what I was expecting a couple people, so.
Oh.
Zoom it. Yep.
Oh. So when you have this, it's, operating with this, issue. Yeah. I think it's $3,000. Yeah. We should be $1,000.
Oh, yes, sorry. Right, and then they cover. I forgot to update, Jim's calling on it. Okay.
I'm gonna have to know this. Okay, folks, I guess it's time to start. So anyway, thank you for attending the Committee of Adjustment meeting. I'd like to remind everyone as we get underway, this meeting is in person and online through Zoom and is being recorded. Everyone online will be muted with the exception of the committee members and staff. All comments and questions are to be directed through the chair from committee members, staff, and the public. I'd like to remind committee members that you must speak into your microphone so that everyone online and in person can hear you. For those attendees that are online, your video picture will not be displayed. You will be muted and will not be able to unmute yourself during an application that you have not requested to attend unless you raise your hand. At the beginning of each application, I will call the application forward. The owner or applicant in attendance may come to the table to their right to speak with the committee. This microphone is live and you must speak into the microphone. If the owner or applicant is online, you will be unmuted. Committee will ask for comments from the public during each application. Please provide your name and address for the public record. All comments, questions should be directed to the chair and only speak when it is your turn. If you are in person and would like to speak to an application one at a time, you may approach the podium and speak. This microphone will be live. If you are on the video portion of the Zoom meeting and you would like to speak and your microphone is muted, please click on the raise hand button located at the bottom of your screen. Staff will notify me that you wish to speak. If you're attending by telephone and you wish to speak, please dial *9 to raise your hand, which will signal staff that you wish to speak. Once a decision has been made concerning your application, you're welcome to leave the hearing while committee continues with the next application. Members in attendance today are Bruce Craig, Catherine Graham, Paul Veenstra, Todd Robertson, and myself, Jim Keel. Our staff in attendance are Senior Planner Lindsay Lambert, Planner Marnie Vendetti, and Secretary Treasurer Amanda Warner McKellar. First item on the agenda today is the adoption of the agenda. Do any committee members have any changes they wish to make?
None here.
No.
Nope.
None.
Nor do I. So, yeah, I need a mover and a seconder to, okay, moved by Catherine, seconded by Paul. That the agenda be adopted as circulated. All in favor?
Bruce, yes. Catherine, yes.
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 And I am also carried. Next. Okay, the second item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes from the April 30th, 2024 meeting. Do any committee members have any changes or suggestions they wish to make?
None here. No.
No.
None for me.
And none for me either. So we need a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes from last month.
Bruce will move.
Moved by Bruce, seconded by Todd. All in favor?
Bruce, yes.
Oh, okay. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Todd, that the minutes of the April 30th, 2024 hearing of Committee of Adjustment be adopted as circulated. All in favor?
Bruce, yes. Catherine, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I am also carried. So third item, is there anybody with declaration of interest, pecuniary or otherwise, in any of the?
I have none.
Today.
I have none.
Nope.
None here.
Nor do I. Okay. Well, first on our agenda today is application D13 2024 011 347 Ash Island. No.
Yes, the application is requesting a minor variance to facilitate the construction of a detached uncovered deck with an approximate area of 53.4 square meters. The detached uncovered deck is proposed to have stairs with landings attached for access to and from the waterfront portion of the property. The detached deck is proposed to be set back 26 meters from the high water mark of the St. Lawrence River, whereas the minimum front yard setback of the island residential zone and the minimum setback from the high water mark of the water body are both 30 meters. And the owner is, or the agent is online.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So do you want to kind of give us a bit of a rundown on what you're asking for?
Yeah, currently there's no stairs or deck or anything on this property that we have. And we're asking for, the approval for the stairs to connect up to a deck with the minor variance that was just proposed.
Okay, thank you. Lindsay, if you want to.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. Staff have reviewed the application for this vacant property and are satisfied that it meets the 4 tests of a minor variance. To date, no public comments have been received. There is quite a slope to the property. And in terms of that, the CRCA has reviewed it and have concluded that the deck is sufficiently set back from the erosion hazard on the property. And with that, staff recommend approval in accordance with the recommended conditions in the staff report. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Amanda, is there any other public comments? Or anything?
Yes, we received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we've not received any further written public comments.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Anybody in the audience, in attendance or online that wishes to speak to this application?
We have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Okay, committee members. Start with you, Bruce. Do you have any questions? Or?
No, I have no questions or concerns. It looks straightforward and, the applicant obviously has to have a way to access this property, and this is it.
Catherine.
I have no questions or concerns.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, no, I have no concerns.
Todd.
None here, sir.
Nor do I. So I need a mover and a seconder to move this application along.
Bruce will move.
I'll second.
So it's been moved by Bruce, seconded by Paul, that application D13 2024 011 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. We're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And I am also carried. Okay. Okay, second on our agenda is D13 2024 013 182 Briar Hill Road. Amanda, is the applicant here or online?
The agent was registered for online, but I'm not seeing Aaron online. So if anybody is here in the audience that wants to come and have a seat at the end of the table to speak to this application, you're welcome to. But I'll get started on the information. So the application is requesting permission for the proposed expansion of the legal non-conforming use, legal non-complying structure. The subject property is zoned mineral resource pit in zoning bylaws number 07079. The previous dwelling was demolished in 2023 and a new dwelling is proposed for the property. The former dwelling and the proposed dwelling do not comply with the minimum setback from the land's zoned mineral resource pit and do not comply with the minimum front yard, interior side yard, and minimum rear yard of the MRP zone.
Okay, Lindsay, have you got something for us?
Thank you, Chair, and through you. So as Amanda's noted, this is a request to permit a new dwelling on the property with the previous dwelling having been demolished in 2023, pardon me. The dwelling is larger than the previous dwelling. Staff have reviewed the application and have concluded that it meets the tests under the township official plan for the expansion of a legal non-conforming use, a legal non-complying structure. To date, no comments have been received with respect to the application. The proposal doesn't coincide with any natural hazards and therefore the CRCA has no concerns. And staff recommend approval of the application in accordance with the conditions enclosed in the staff report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Amanda, any public comments that we've received?
Yes, we received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we've received no further written public comments.
Is there anyone in the attendance in the audience that wishes to speak to this application? Or online?
We have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Well, committee members, there's nobody to talk to, but if anybody have any comments on this one that wish to make?
No, it looks fairly straightforward and there was a dwelling there and there are other dwellings in the neighborhood, so I have no concerns.
I just have a question, possibly Lindsay can answer it. Just to my version is the west of the property line, there's a road that is signed as leading to an open pit, which is probably a pit that's part of the MRP, but how far back from the proposed house is this pit, and is the pit active and being expanded?
Through you, Chair. So there is a significant setback proposed to the lot line for the proposed dwelling. It's about 100 feet. Staff are not aware of any proposed expansion of any existing pit within the area.
Thank you.
Paul?
Yeah, no, no concerns.
Todd?
No, I'll just note installation of a new septic system and the proposed new dwelling being further back, set back from the road, which I think are both positives. Thank
Yep.
you.
And I agree with that and have nothing more to add. So we need somebody to move and second to move this application along.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd, that application D13-2024-013 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. You ready to vote?
Bruce, yes?
Catherine, yes?
Yes,
Yes.
And I am also carried. Okay, third on our agenda today is D13-2024-014 92 Greer Point Lane. Amanda,
Yeah.
you think?
Yep, the agent is here and just coming forward to the table, so I'll read the application. The application is requesting a permission for the expansion of an existing legal non-complying dwelling. The proposed expansion will entail the demolition of the existing dwelling and its replacement with a new dwelling and covered front porch with an increase in floor area and height, as well as an expansion of an uncovered attached deck. The existing dwelling is approximately 68.4 square meters and is approximately 6 meters in height, and the proposed dwelling is approximately 95.6 square meters and approximately 6.9 meters in height. The existing uncovered attached deck is approximately 46.4 square meters, and the proposed additional attached uncovered decking is approximately 17.8 square meters. The existing dwelling is legal non-complying with respect to the minimum 30-meter setback from Charleston Lake, the minimum front yard setback of the shoreline residential zone, and the minimum 10-meter setback from a private right-of-way.
Good, thank you, Amanda. Lindsay, you want to give us the,
Thank you, Chair, and through you. So this is a constrained lot on a peninsula with waterfront on both the north and south sides. The request is to demolish the existing dwelling and construct a new dwelling. In terms of the north side, the proposal does pull back the habitable portion of the dwelling and replaces it with uncovered decking. Staff are satisfied that a sufficient and functional setback from the private right-of-way is maintained through the proposal, and that overall the proposal meets the tests on the township official plan with respect to the expansion of a legal non-complying structure. In terms of public comments, we are in receipt of 3 pieces of correspondence that are supportive of the application. The CRCA did visit the site with the township staff as well as the applicant and reviewed the proposal in detail and have signed off with no concerns from a natural hazards perspective. And therefore staff recommend approval of the application with the conditions that are attached to the staff report. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Lindsay. Amanda, any other public comments been received?
Yes, we received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and received public written comments from Kathy Halpern, Leo Halpern, and Aaron Halpern, neighbors with no objections, and received comments from the Charleston Lake Environmental Association. They encourage the naturalization programs and resources provided by the CRCA with a view to monitor, maintaining, and enhancing the natural shoreline areas of Charleston Lake and foster the implementation of sustainable redevelopment of cottage lots without further degrading the water quality of Charleston Lake. And we also received comments from Betty Simpson, a neighbor, with no objections. And that is all the written public comments we received.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Is there anyone in the audience in attendance or online that wishes to speak to the application?
No, we have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Thanks, Amanda. Committee members, Bruce, we'll start. Have you any questions for?
I have a question for the applicant or the agent. It's regarding what looks to be septic tank access lids that would be to the west of the existing property where the extension would be going. And I know the applicant's very knowledgeable on septic systems, and I'm just wondering how that's going to be addressed.
It's working now?
Yep. That's
This is the pumping station and it'll be relocated.
Okay, Marcel, I noticed along the right of way, there was a tree and it looked to be a couple of circles with X's. Is that where it's being relocated to?
The tree's gonna be removed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Catherine.
I have no questions or concerns.
Paul.
Yeah, no concerns for me.
Todd.
No, again, the new dwelling is going to be further back, setback, so no concerns on this end.
And most of our ones that are put in these days have, or if anything, are an improvement over what was in the past. So I have no problems with it. So we need a mover and a seconder to move this along.
Bruce,
Okay, Paul, moved by Paul, seconded by Bruce. It's been moved by Paul, seconded by Bruce, that application D 13-2024-014 be approved, subject to the conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. Start to vote. Bruce?
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes.
Yes.
Yes, here.
And I am also carried. Okay, next on our agenda is D 13-2024-015 913 Fiddlehead Lane. Amanda, can you confirm if the applicant's in person, online, or whatever, and read the application?
We have the agent and I believe we have the owner online as well. So I've just asked both if they want to unmute their microphone, they can. And while they're doing that, I will start the application. The application is requesting a permission to expand a legal non-complying dwelling and attached uncovered deck. The existing dwelling and attached uncovered deck are legal non-complying with respect to the minimum 30-meter setback from the high water mark of the Gananoque River, the minimum 30-meter front yard of the shoreline residential zone, and the minimum 10-meter setback from a private right-of-way. A second story totaling approximately 50.4 square meters is proposed to be added to the existing approximately 110.6 square meter dwelling. The height of the existing dwelling is approximately 4.6 meters, and the proposed height of the expanded dwelling is approximately 7.6 meters. The existing attached uncovered decking is approximately 26.8 square meters and is proposed to add approximately 39.3 square meters of attached uncovered decking.
Thank you, Amanda. Lindsay, would you like to start?
Thank you, Chair, and through you. This application proposes to expand the dwelling through the addition of a second floor, and so the footprint of the dwelling is not expanding, and the existing setback to the high water mark of the river is not, there's no encroachment within that existing setback. There is the existing right-of-way to which the dwelling is considered legal non-complying in terms of its setback. There is additional uncovered decking being proposed through the application. Staff are satisfied that the proposal meets the tests in the township official plan with respect to the expansion of a legal non-complying structure. In terms of public correspondence, we've received 2 pieces of correspondence indicating support of the subject application. The CRCA doesn't have any concerns with the application based on its consideration of natural hazards, and staff therefore recommend approval of the application in accordance with the conditions that we've enclosed in the staff report for the committee. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lindsay. Amanda, is there any other public comment?
Yes, we'll receive comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we received written public comments from Don and Marg Atkinson's neighbors with no objections, and Doug Good, a neighbor with no objections, and that's all the written public comments we have received.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Excuse me. Is there anyone in attendance in the audience or online that wishes to speak to the application?
Brian, go ahead. He is the agent on the file. He's just looking to speak.
Okay. I can certainly speak to the application if the members of the board have any questions concerning it, but I think it's fairly straightforward. We are not increasing the footprint of the existing cottage. We are adding the deck to the west end. The deck that is currently on the cottage on the south side is very open to the elements. We are covering over a portion of that, but that's an existing deck. And the deck on the west end will be more shaded and more protected by the natural tree cover. The assessment from the planner is accurate, and we are replacing the septic system. We've had the current foundations inspected by an engineer, and he's determined that the existing foundations are solid and not an issue to add the second story. So if anybody has any questions, I'm here.
Okay, well, we'll start with Bruce.
I have no concerns. It looks relatively minor and it's just an increase in height, part of the existing cottage. So I'm good with the applicant.
Yeah, Catherine,
I'm fine with this.
Paul,
Yeah, no questions or concerns.
Todd?
None here.
No, nor do I. So I need a mover and a seconder to get this moving along.
I'll move.
Moved by Catherine, seconded by Paul. Then moved by Catherine, seconded by Paul, that application D13-2024-015 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. We're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes.
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 And I am also carried. Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, excuse me, next on the agenda is D13-2024-016, 602 Minnow Lane. Amanda, do you want to read the application?
Yes, the application is requesting permission to demolish, rebuild, and expand an existing legal non-complying single detached dwelling with both uncovered and covered attached decking. The proposed single detached dwelling is to be constructed at an increased height and an increased water setback as compared to the existing structure. Of note, all attached decking on the rebuilt dwelling is proposed to be covered. The property currently features 46.8 square meters of covered and uncovered decking, and it is proposed to rebuild 32.5 square meters of covered deck / porch area. The proposed dwelling is to have a ground floor area of 161 square meters, 32.5 square meters of which is proposed as an attached covered deck porch. It's also proposed to demolish, rebuild, and expand an existing legal non-complying accessory structure. The accessory structure is proposed to be located at an increased water setback as compared to the existing structure. Of note, a second accessory building is also being removed from the property to facilitate the construction of the larger structure. The existing dwelling with attached decking and the existing accessory structure are non-complying structures that do not meet the minimum required setback from Charleston Lake and the minimum front yard setback of the shoreline residential zone of the zoning bylaw. And we have the agent and owner online.
Okay, thank you. Arnie, could you?
Thank you. Through you. Staff have reviewed this proposal. It improves the existing situation by setting the dwelling back further, as well as demolishing 2 non-complying accessory buildings and building a new accessory building that is further set back. In addition, the proposed dwelling will be set back outside of the natural hazard area of the floodplain. So it improves the existing situation on the property. Based on this and our review of the official plan, staff are supportive and recommend approval of the application as presented. With respect to input, the CRCA have reviewed the application and indicated no concerns with the approval of the application. So it's recommended for approval. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Amanda, are there any other comments that you've received?
Yes, received comments from the conservation authorities with no objection. And we received comments from the Charleston Lake Environmental Association that encourage the naturalization programs and resources provided by the CRCA with a view to monitoring, maintaining, and enhancing the natural shoreline areas of Charleston Lake and foster the implementation of sustainable redevelopment of cottage lots without further degrading the water quality of Charleston Lake. And we've not received any further written public comments.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak to the application?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The agent. Yep.
Hi, Michael Barkhouse with Lockwood Brothers Construction. I just wanted to also point out that we did explore for the homeowners who are looking to add the fourth season of winter to the cottage use, insulating and providing a furnace, and the cost prohibitive nature of that, plus the room that was going to be taken by the equipment, went into going ahead and recommending a demolish and a rebuild for that. As well, we are adding a septic system and replacing a holding tank.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, Bruce, any questions for the applicant?
No, I have only minor concerns, of the tearing down what looks to be a functional building, but I understand with the explanation and also the setbacks are being improved, so I have no issue with the application.
I have no questions or concerns.
Yeah, no concerns.
Similar observations as Bruce, but no concerns.
Yeah, I am also, so very good. So I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move.
Moved by Todd,
Bruce will second.
seconded by Bruce. Moved by Todd, seconded by Bruce, that application D13 2024 016 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. We're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes.
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 And I am also carried. Okay, next on the agenda today is D13 2024 017 Tar Island. Amanda, do you want to read the application?
Yes, the application is requesting permission to construct a 17.6 square meter attached uncovered deck onto an existing legal non-complying sleeping cabin. The existing sleeping cabin is a non-complying structure that does not meet the minimum required side yard setback and is non-compliant with the maximum permitted size for a sleep cabin. The property is currently developed with a single detached dwelling, an accessory structure, and a sleep cabin.
Okay, thank you. Marnie, you want to summarize it for us?
Yep, thank you through you. Staff have reviewed the application against the tests of the official plan for permission for expansion of illegal non-conforming use and have no concerns. The proposed deck does meet the side yard setback for an accessory structure and it's reasonable scale with what's existing. With respect to input, there has been no public input received with respect to this. So staff are recommending approval of the application subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Thank you. Amanda, are there any other comments received that you know of?
We received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we've not received any further written public comments.
Thank you, Amanda. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to the application or online?
No, we have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Okay, is committee any comments they wish to make anyway, even if there is no one here to hear them? Oh, the agent is online. I'm sorry, Bruce, go ahead.
I have no concerns that in an area, as we call infilling, and the deck would be no closer to the St. Lawrence than the existing cottage, so I have no problem.
Catherine.
I have no issues.
Paul?
Yeah, no, I have no problems as well.
No, Todd?
In addition to it being no closer to the river, it's no closer to the lot line either than the bunkie is. So no concerns here.
Yep, I agree with you completely. So we're all in agreement. So what we need is a mover and a seconder to start it along.
I'll move.
Moved by Catherine, seconded by Paul. Moved by Catherine, seconded by Paul, that application D13 2024 017 be approved, subject to conditions included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. We're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes.
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 And I am also carried. Okay, next on our agenda is D13-2024-018, 137 Donaldson Bay Lane. Amanda, would you read the application, please?
Yes, and we also have the agent in the audience and the owners online. So the application is requesting permission to permit the addition of a 7 square meter attached uncovered deck onto an existing legal non-complying dwelling. The application also includes a permission to expand the existing legal non-complying with an addition, which will increase the floor area of the dwelling by 60.5 square meters for a total floor area of 131.5 square meters. The existing dwelling is a non-complying structure that does not meet the minimum setback from the high water mark of Charleston Lake and does not meet the minimum front yard setback of the shoreline residential zone.
Okay, Marnie, do you want to summarize it for us, please?
Thank you. So staff have reviewed the application. The proposed addition maintains the line of the existing cottage. Based on the angle of it and the location of it, it is set back based on the 6 meter setback from the floodplain. So it's actually improving the existing situation of the existing cottage because the addition is outside of the natural hazard area. The Conservation Authority has reviewed the application and identified no concerns. Based on our review of the official plan, staff are recommending approval subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Yeah, thank you, Marnie. Amanda, any other public comments that you're aware of?
Yes, we received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we received comments from the Charleston Lake Environmental Association that encouraged the naturalization programs and resources provided by the CRCA with a view to monitoring, maintaining, and enhancing the natural shoreline areas of Charleston Lake and foster the implementation of sustainable redevelopment of cottage lots without further degrading the water quality of Charleston Lake.
Thank you, Amanda. Is there anyone in the audience or online that wishes to speak to the application?
No, we have no one in the audience and no one online looking to speak to the application.
We'll start with you, Bruce. Have you anything you wish to?
I have no questions or issues with this application.
Catherine?
Nothing.
No.
My only comment would be the elevations involved certainly mitigate, in my mind, any potential risks or anything like that. So no concerns.
Okay, thank you, Todd. So we need a mover and a seconder to move this application along.
I can move.
Yeah, moved by Todd,
Bruce will second.
seconded by Bruce. Moved by Todd, seconded by Bruce, that application D13-2024-018 be approved subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. We're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes.
Catherine, yes.
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 And I am also carried. Okay, next on our agenda is D13-2024-019 Kirk Island. Amanda, would you read the application, please?
Yes, and if anybody's in attendance that wishes to speak to the application, they can come forward to the chair. We've also called the owner forward as well. So the application is requesting permission to permit the addition of a 4.6 square meter attached uncovered deck onto an existing non-compliant dwelling. The application also includes a permission to expand the existing legal non-complying dwelling with an addition of 2 dormers, which will increase the gross floor area of the dwelling by 33.9 square meters for a total gross floor area of 261.9 square meters. The existing dwelling is a non-complying structure that does not meet the minimum setback from the high water mark of the St. Lawrence River and does not meet the minimum front yard setback of the island residential zone.
Thank you, Amanda. Marnie?
Thank you. Through you, staff have reviewed the application. with respect to the tests in the official plan. With respect to the expansion to the dwelling, the two dormers make the existing space in the structure usable and improve the functionality of the structure. While the existing structure is certainly non-complying as it was built in 1932, there's no concerns with the proposed additions or the decking. Based on the tests in the official plan for expansion of a non-complying structure, staff have no concerns. The Conservation Authority has reviewed the application as well and identified no concerns, so staff recommend approval, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report.
Thank you. Amanda, any other public comments?
We received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and that's the only written public comments we have received.
Okay, is there anyone in attendance in the audience or online that wishes to speak to the application?
We have no one in the audience and no one online looking to speak to the application.
Okay, committee members, is there anything you want to put on record?
No, I have no concerns. It looks like everything has been looked after and everything's in line, so I'm good with the application.
Catherine?
My only question is sort of an ancillary one, and that concerns the septic system. So I'm assuming that as this project proceeds, there will be a thorough inspection of the septic system.
Put that to Martin.
Yeah, through you, absolutely. As part of the building permit process, the septic system would be reviewed for suitability. Depending on the uses that are being added in the expanded floor area, there may be need for an upgrade to the system.
Thank you.
Paul?
Yeah, no concerns.
Yeah, Todd?
No concerns, nothing to
Nope.
add.
I have no concerns that haven't been answered. So I guess we need a mover and a seconder to moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd. Moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd, that application D13-2024-019 be approved, subject to the conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. And we're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes?
Catherine, yes.
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 And I'm also carried. Okay, next on the agenda is D13-2024-020 140 Park Street. And Amanda, would you read the application?
Yes, and the owner's just in the audience here. The application is requesting a minor variance to facilitate the construction of a single detached dwelling on the subject property. Zoning relief is requested from the maximum lot coverage provision of the Hamlet residential zone. It is also proposed to carry forward previous zoning relief that has been granted under minor variance application A-2017-026 for a smaller dwelling proposal with respect to the minimum setback from the mineral resource pit and mineral resource aggregate zones.
Thank you, Amanda. Lindsay, would you like to give us your report, please?
Thank you, and through you. So the main focus of the application is zoning relief from the maximum lot coverage provision of the Hamlet residential zone. Staff thought it was appropriate to carry forward previous zoning relief from the MRP and MRA zones that was granted through a 2017 minor variance for a smaller dwelling at that time. Overall, the proposal makes use of a vacant underutilized property in a existing settlement area. It does comply with all other provisions of the zoning bylaw. The built form being proposed is consistent with the overall area. Staff have concluded that the proposal meets the 4 tests of a minor variance under the Planning Act. There is an objection in terms of a public comment that has been received. Staff are prepared to speak to that if the committee has any questions regarding that. An entrance permit is a recommended condition within the staff report. And in summary, staff recommend approval in accordance with the conditions in the staff report. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. Amanda, were there any other comments?
Yes, there was comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections. And then I've summarized the comments that have been received from Daphne Alders and Bruce Bloomfield, neighbors. They objected to the application, noting concerns that they thought the lot was initially grandfathered so that no well, no septic tank, and no dwelling could be built on it. The undersized lot and the undersized frontage, the sketch not being accurate, concerns with wells in the area going dry, location of the driveway, no culvert, serious water drainage, flooding, and stormwater drainage problems, location of drainage from the sump pump and roof runoff, proposed drainage swales, restricting the access to their backyard for machine, home maintenance, and repairs, and losing the ability to have their existing septic system maintained, reconstructed, or replaced. Concerns were also raised that the construction of the dwelling will kill their existing perennial and annual flower beds, and with the existing vegetation on the property being damaged. They also raised concerns with the process, citing that the recommendation to approve was posted May 9th before they received their notice.
Thank you, Amanda. Is there anyone in attendance that wishes to speak to the application, either virtually or in person?
I can talk to the application here. So we're the owner and builder for the property there. So the property that we're looking to build there is just it's a 2 bedrooms bungalow, very in keeping with what's being built in the community of Sealy's Bay there. It is an undersized lot, but it is the same size as the vast majority of the lots in the Sealy's Bay already. As in regards to the neighbors that don't want the property built to them,
Speak into the mic a little.
Sorry about that. The house we're proposing is actually smaller than their house. And the well, there is a well already on the property that was there previously before we built it. That's already been drilled, and we are happy to comply with all other zoning bylaws and all the other provisions in the building code as far as drainage, runoff, and everything else to make sure that we don't adversely affect any of the neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Any members? Bruce, you have any questions for the applicant?
A question for the applicant. Was there a previous house on the property?
As far as I'm concerned, I believe it's always been a vacant lot.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
Catherine.
I have a question about the gravel driveway that is there now. I guess I could call it a driveway. Would you like to comment on the location relative to the lot line and how that driveway will be used or manifested in the final state of the construction?
Yeah, so there's an existing kind of access driveway in there. I'm not sure if it was ever a fully approved driveway or not originally on it. We, in our proposed site plan, we do propose to move it over a little bit further to the left side of the property in order to get it a little bit further away from the lot line, because it is very close to the lot line right now.
Thank you.
Paul.
Yeah, I have no issues. It looks like this house is almost the same size as next door. It is in a hamlet, and yeah, I think it should fit in there very nicely.
Thought.
My only comment is in the current state of our housing crisis, I think we should take every opportunity to utilize underused land, which I see this as. So I have no questions or concerns that haven't already been asked.
I haven't really either. The question I had, when was the well drilled, do you know?
Yeah, I have a copy of the well record here. It was 2020.
Okay.
So, and I will say too that in concern to the other the well issues that the other lots are have on Park Street, when you look up the well record, my property is the only property in all of Park Street that actually has a registered well record. Okay. None of the other ones do, and they probably need to be dug deeper. So my lot is drilled at about 290 feet, and most of the other lots in the area are in like the 60 to 80 feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, I was just curious because when it was drilled, it must have already been approved for somebody to build on. Okay, that's the only question I had. So I guess if no one has any more questions, we need a mover and a seconder. Okay, I'll check with the audience again. Is there anyone online or here that wishes to speak to it, to this application?
No, we have no one online and no one in the audience looking to publicly speak to the application.
Okay, well, can you move in a second?
Bruce will move.
Moved by Bruce. Seconded by Catherine, I believe. Okay, moved by Bruce, seconded by Catherine, that application D13-2024-020 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and decision of the committee. So, ready to vote?
Bruce is yes.
Catherine, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And I am also carried. Okay. So next on our application is D13-2024-021 135 Mill Street.
Yes, and we have our Director of Operations here if you have questions. The application is requesting a minor variance to permit the construction of a 20.6 square meter accessory structure at 135 Mill Street. The proposed height is 3.05 meters. The proposed accessory structure requires a reduction to the required 30 meter setback from the high water mark of Little Cranberry Lake. The proposed property is located in Sealy's Bay and is owned by the Township of Leeds and the Thousand Islands.
Okay, Marnie.
Thank you. Yep, through you. Staff have reviewed the application and found it to comply with the tests in the official plan for a variance. The proposed reduction is to reduce the setback from 30 meters to 28.4 meters. There have been no comments received from the abutting neighbors, and in reviewing the site, there is mature vegetation along the two property lines to abut the two properties that are directly adjacent to this site. The application is recommended for approval, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Marty. Amanda, was there anything else that we've heard about?
Well, we received comments from the Rideau Waterway Development Review Team, which is part of the Conservation Authority, and they had no objections, and we've not received any further written public comments.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to this, either virtually or in person?
We have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Okay, I'm going to start with you, Bruce. Any questions for
My only question is, I'm wondering what it's going to be used for, and then I have a comment after.
Thank you. This is mainly for storage. So we have an operator down at the harbor. We'll store any materials that we're working with or safety devices and all those types of things. Right now, we currently don't have anything, and we're providing a service at that location. So this allows us that opportunity.
Okay, and my question or comment, I guess, is I didn't notice any staking on the property. Does it indicate just where the structure is going to be placed?
So the structure is going to be placed on the existing concrete pad.
Okay, I assumed that, but okay, we require staking.
we
Thank
need
you.
to hold you up for a month? Okay, Catherine.
My only question was about the staking and the pad, so it's been answered. Thank you.
Okay, Paul, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just a question. Is this a glorified garden shed or a permanent structure?
It's a prefab structure that's being delivered to the site. It is basically a shed that we're going to use for the purpose of storing materials.
No more,
No,
no more
go ahead.
questions.
Yeah, Todd?
Not a question, a kudo maybe is the word I want to use. Because I read with interest the requirement to complement the visual character of the landscape and minimize the visual impact on the protected heritage property. So I'm assuming that went into your selection of the particular building you're going to be using, but I found it a unique comment to be made, or a required suggestion, and also kudos for being able to meet that unique comment.
I second Todd's comment because this very visually appealing structure.
Okay, no, I have nothing further to that. So I guess we need a mover and a seconder to move this along. Moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd. So moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd, that application D13 2024 021 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. And we're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes?
Catherine, yes.
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 And I'm also carried, but I should warn the township that we did pass something here finally last year that if they're not staked, we wouldn't hear it. So I said, I guess it's your lucky day. Okay. That one. Goodness, let's get this done. It'll be 11 and no copy. Me? Okay, last on our agenda today is D13 2024-022 154 Club Island. Can you read us the application?
Yes, and we have the agent online if you have any questions.
Okay.
So the application is requesting a minor variance to legalize the 6.8 meter height of an existing sleeping cabin. The maximum permitted height of a sleeping cabin is 5 meters.
Okay, Lindsay, you want to give us the official view?
Thank you, and through you. So this property was through a zoning bylaw amendment last year as a result of an enforcement file. So that special exception zone did recognize the existing development on the property. There was a previous Planning Act approval for relief from the maximum height of that building as an accessory structure. In terms of the zoning amendment, there was an oversight in terms of incorporating relief from the height with the transition of that building to now being a sleeping cabin. And so staff were bringing forward this application to recognize the 6.8 meter height of the building as a sleeping cabin. No new development is being proposed through this application. No public comments have been received. The Conservation Authority has noted no concerns, and staff recommend approval in accordance with the conditions in the staff report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Are there any other comments received?
We had comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we have not received any further written public comments.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in attendance virtually or in the audience that wishes to speak to the application?
No, we have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Well, committee members, if anything you want to have on record, we should discuss on this application.
I guess the only comment I have is that asking forgiveness seems to be the history of this this location. But having said that, I have no other comments.
Okay, Catherine?
I agree with my colleagues' comments. Otherwise, I have none.
Yeah, Paul?
Yeah, no concerns.
Todd?
No concerns.
No, nor do I. So we need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Paul, seconded by Todd. Okay, moved by Paul, seconded by Todd, that application D13 2024 022 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. And we're ready to vote.
Bruce, yes?
Catherine, yes.
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 And I'm also carried. You get it.
Okay, so our next item was the discussion on the township insurance for committee members. And so we don't have an answer for you right now. But if you'd like to just remind us what exactly you're looking for this discussion, that way staff can have something to you for June.
Secondary for.
No, if anybody wants to just refresh, because Marnie is here. So if there's something like, I believe what you guys were speaking about before was like personal insurance, like if you get injured on site, if that was your concern, or if there's something else. We just want to make sure we cover everything this time.
As I suggested back in December, if we were to contact from a Young Township who carries insurance on all their members of council or committees of council, basically, you know, I'm thinking if one of us is hurt on an inspection, something of that nature, or liability, if for some reason an applicant thought that we did something to their property, you know, just general liability, but it's like I said, a call to Front of Young, like see what they do, and might give us some clarity as to what we should do.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, thank you. That's helpful, because we had reported back about if you were in your vehicle or something, and that it would be your own vehicle insurance that would apply if you were on an inspection, but I didn't understand that there was any outstanding questions. So I'll certainly look into this and have some answers for the next meeting.
Yeah, Todd.
And I wasn't around for the genesis of this, but, and I think I asked this question first or second meeting, in terms of a risk liability coverage, should, anyone file suit against, the township and include on that suit any member or all of this committee, is there something that is in place to, you know, as long as decisions are made in good faith, et cetera? Yep. Thank you.
And Paul, do you have anything you wish to add? Yeah. Okay, Catherine?
I also want to reiterate that I think we all agree that site inspections are very, very important to this process. So we just want to be able to keep on doing them in the best way possible.
And sometimes, especially in winter, most of the time we're alone, and somebody got hurt out in the backcountry there should be I think there should be some kind of insurance on, because if it was anybody else in this building except us, they would be covered, correct? Yeah. So that's really all. Yeah, no, that's fine. So now that you've made it take over an hour, can I move?
Had to get it to over an hour, okay? Like,
Yes, Catherine.
I have one other very minor piece of business. Will take 3 seconds.
No, you just take all the time you want.
No. At least one of the applications that I looked at this month was characterized by more deletions and corrections than actual text. And so I can't remember offhand which one it was, but I've got it online and it was pretty sketchy, as it were. So I would just encourage staff to advise applicants that it's sort of like dress for success, right? So the easier you make it for us and for you to read the application clearly, the better.
Well, and that's why I was teasing the township on that, because for many, many years, we'd go out someplace in the wintertime, Bruce, and well, somewhere in the snow, they want to build something. So we made it, and I believe that's in the rules now. If they're not staked, we'll see you next month. And then, you know, so, but we kind of got the gist of that corner. It was probably going to sit there somewhere.
This was actually, I was referring to the written application.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Todd?
Yeah, and there's at least one instance where the staking was above standards with actual writing on the stakes
Yep.
of what's going here.
That's great.
and It was, if you were looking at a best practice, I think that would be very, very nice.
So I
best
think
practice.
that's the one that the people thought that the somebody should build them a road. Is that the one out there? It was all marked, garage, everything in the one out, it was out at the back lake. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. No, so we need, I think this adjourn.
Yeah.
Need a mover and a seconder to adjourn. Moved by Catherine. Okay, moved by Catherine, seconded by Todd. That the Committee of Adjustment will adjourn to meet again at the call of the Secretary Treasurer. All in favor?
Yes.
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 And I am also carried.